Okay, this is the explanation of the bleach lab. I'm looking at the question. So question number 1 says use the equations given to determine the number of moles of sodium thiosulfate equivalent to sodium hypochlorite. So what we're going to do is we're going to start off with 1 mole of the hypochlorite. If you go back to the front page, there are some equations and there are mole-to-mole ratios. And on the front page, you will see that 1 mole of hypochlorite is equal to 1 mole of iodine, I2. In the next equation, you will see that 1 mole of iodine is equivalent to 1 mole of I3 minus. And in the final equation, you'll see that there are 2 moles of S2O3 equivalent to 1 mole of the I3. So all these mole-to-mole ratios come from the front page of the lab handout. So that means 1 mole of hypochlorite is equivalent to 2 moles of thiosulfate. And this will be the same for everybody for number 1. Number 2 says to calculate the average volume needed to titrate the diluted bleach. Now this number is going to be different for everybody, so don't use this number. For number 2, you're just going to average the volumes that you had. I'm going to use an average volume of 18.36 milliliters. Now yours is different, so don't use this number. Number 3, using the average volume and molarity, determine the molarity of the diluted bleach. So I'm going to use my number, don't use this number, 0.01836. I'm changing that to liters. But don't use that number. Change that to liters. The concentration of the sodium thiosulfate was 0.1. So 0.1 moles per liter. We know from question 1 that there are 2 moles of sodium thiosulfate for every 1 mole of sodium hypochlorite. Now this here comes from question number 1. We did that. And we diluted the bleach to 25 milliliters. In other words, we used 25 milliliters in our experiment. So for my data, the molarity of the diluted bleach is 0.0367 molar. Now yours is going to be different based on the number that you started with, but that's how you do number 3. Number 4. Calculate the molarity of the commercial bleach. We're going to do this. M1V1 equals M2V2. Molarity of the concentrated times volume of the concentrated equals molarity of the dilute times volume of the dilute. So I'm looking for the molarity of the concentrated bleach. The volume, recall we used 5 milliliters. We used exactly 5 milliliters of the initial bleach solution. The molarity of the dilute, well, I just found that number. Mine was 0.0367. Yours is going to be different, so this number here is different for everybody. And then the volume of the dilute is we diluted to 100 milliliters. So the molarity of the concentrated bleach, according to my data, is 0.734 molar. Number 5. Assume that the density of commercial bleach is 1.08. Calculate the percent by mass. We're going to start off with the number we had on number 4. So we're going to start off, in my case, 0.734 molar, which is 0.734 moles per liter. There are 1,000 milliliters in a liter. The density of commercial bleach is 1.08 grams per mil. And the molar mass of sodium hypochlorite is 74.5 grams per mole. And so for my data, this comes out to a mass percent of 5.06%. And then number 6, commercial bleach comes out to a mass percent of 5.25%. So the theoretical yield on commercial bleach is 5.25%. We're going to find a percent error. Well, percent error is what you get minus what it's supposed to be. This is not percent yield, this is percent error. So percent error is, for my case, 5.06 minus the 5.25, divide by what it should be, multiply by 100. And we're not going to worry about question number 7. So that is how we do the questions on the bleach lab.